Welcome to the Your Little Castle Show, where we highlight the best experts that make your home into your little castle. Let's go! Well, we are live again in the Your Castle Little studio. Always enjoy talking to professionals who know what they're doing and are good for the consumer. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, introduction here to our guest, Mike Boyd. He is the owner of I Know a Guy Fence and Deck. And when it comes down to getting a fence done the right way, this is the guy you should talk to, because Mike has been doing this for 10 years. You've been in the industry.
Yep.
And now your own company now for going on 3 years. Is that right?
In October it'll be 3 years for us.
Well, if you would, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and why you love doing what you're doing here as the owner of I Know a Fence and Deck Guy. I know a guy, Fence and Deck. I'm going to try. We all know a guy, but this is the guy right here, everybody.
Yeah, so we started doing this. Well, I started doing this 10 years ago, almost 11, like you said, and got into it right before my oldest was, I guess he was right before he was 1, and got into the industry. Was kind of just getting out of another job, and somebody had reached out to me and was asking me to kind of come and help him along, as he had gotten some contract work through a third party. And so I've been doing it ever since. I worked with him for a long time, and then I moved on to another company, and ultimately decided that I wanted to go ahead and branch off on my own, start my own thing, so that I could be at all those, those horrible choir concerts and stuff like that for my kids, because it was taking up so much time. I'd rather just be able to set my schedule and do things along those lines while kind of influencing, people that work for me and the community and things along those lines. So.
Well, real professional operation you've got there. We went on site. We'll show everybody a little footage. We went out to see the work Mike has done on a particular client. Mm-hmm. A really great story, too.
They were the Woomers. They were fantastic. They were absolutely wonderful to deal with the entire time, from beginning to end. Hopefully not end, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to be going back out there for them eventually.
Right. We'll show you a few pictures of the work that Mike did there. But, I mean, just awesome to see a happy family and just the overall business. I mean, the whole idea of the Your Little Castle show is to allow for people to showcase their business, to show off the hard work that our local small businesses do to make an impact on our community, because we do have a lot of hardworking small business. Is the key to this little country's economy. And a lot of people recognize that. Some people don't understand the importance of that. But it's like 80-90% of the business that's done out there is done by the small business owners and those who run the small businesses. So, Carter Rethwish here at Cardinal Cowboy. I do have the Cardinal Cowboy hat here in studio. We wear this from time to time. I'll put it on for now. And let's talk a little bit more about I Know a Guy Fence and Deck, because Mike does such a great job. I just was excited to put him on the show. We're going to change up a couple things here. Cool backgrounds we can always edit and change behind us. So let's go ahead and put that up behind us, and let's see here if we got it. There we go. Here's some of the work you've done, Mike, and I'll put this on the wide angle so that people can see what it is, what you've done in this community with regard to some of your beautiful work. So there it is on the screen behind us, everybody, and I'll go ahead and put it up on the TV wall right now, but I want to share it on the screen for everyone too. So let's go ahead and put it up there for everyone to see. This is good looking stuff, and it's hard doing this much work and putting up this good a quality of stuff, but there it is on a regular basis, but you've done it. So there's just a couple of the images that you've got out there. Talk a little bit about some of these pictures and what you're showing off here a little bit.
Yeah, so like the fence there, it's kind of I don't even know what the style would be considered. I mean, obviously it's a scallop fence for anybody who knows the jargon and things along those lines. But the 2x4s are kind of inverted. This was a specific request by the customer to where the 4x4s would be exposed, kind of giving it just a a nice accent every 8 feet on that thing. So that was a fun one. That took a minute to kind of get everything down and make it look at, because every single cut on that entire thing is exposed. So that was a lot of fun. And then the other one, the deck there, they had this old, really decrepit thing that it took us about 5 minutes and a couple hammers to take that whole thing down. So that was fun, so that they could have an enjoyable space out in St. Louis. Actually, that was actually just south of downtown. So that was a fun one to do as well, kind of giving them an area, because they don't have like the biggest lots or anything out there, so they were able to kind of now utilize that entire yard. So that was fun for them too, as well as us.
And so we're talking about what you got. Here's your next set of pictures. Tell us a little bit about what you got here. This is a double decker deck you got.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was like an Airbnb. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, it's not Airbnb. It is a bed and breakfast, is what I was looking for, actually.
But, well, Airbnb is bed and breakfast, but
right. Yeah. So they opened a bed and breakfast quite some time ago. This is a building that they actually were expanding into. And they needed that, up to commercial code and all those things, so they could host, however many dozens of people they can have there at a time, and host stuff upstairs, downstairs. And so they had reached out to us about building the whole thing, and that took a couple weeks. That was a fun one, though. That was one of the more fun ones. That's about 1,000 square foot of deck when you kind of combine everything around the property. And then the other one was just pretty typical. I mean, that's a customer. He was a great guy, Dave, and we'd actually done that fence in the background. You can kind of see that as well. He had us come back out and do the deck as well. So just a similar situation to a lot of people. They've got a brand new house, they don't have a deck on the back of it, and they just want to pretty that thing up and have more usable space. So those are the kinds we love to do. Those are fun.
Well, yeah, great looking work. I mean, you've done. I mean, this is when you see when somebody knows what they're doing. This is the kind of work you see. So. Again, on the TV wall behind us, that deck over there, I mean, that looks beautiful because of those white vinyl. I mean, is vinyl probably the most popular thing you do?
Yeah, when you do composite, you see a lot of people go with vinyl. Sometimes they'll go with, you see the spindles or balusters. They'll be vinyl, or a lot of times people go aluminum. That's kind of a classic look to go along with composite. And every once in a while you get like the brown composite, actually like the other one you see back there from the B&B. And They went with a more natural tone composite, which is just a darker brown, and I think that the wood rail system with the aluminum balusters really popped well with that one as well, kind of giving it just a kind of an earth tone type deal. So I think both of them look good, but yeah, you see the vinyl a lot more with the composite.
Okay, last example we've got here. You've got, like I said, great looking stuff. Tell us about this one here. The montage you've got on the left, a few different things going on there, but mostly those are all fences, right?
Yeah. So you try to show off, kind of the range of what you can do and what you've done for customers and things along those lines. We do wood, chain link, composite, vinyl fencing, and then I couldn't tell you how many different styles of each one. So that's a fun little montage of kind of the stuff that we offer as far as fences are concerned. And then the deck is kind of the classic wood with the 6x6 posts and the wood rail system along with the aluminum balusters. And that was just us. They had such a pretty view out there with like the water behind everything. And that's, we didn't have to do any kind of like, I can't even think of what you call it, but we didn't have to do editing to the photo.
Yeah, you didn't superimpose the background there. It was a natural background. It looks really good. Well, impressive stuff. I mean, when you've got this kind of passion and you put together this kind of quality, you're going to get a lot of success. I'll even share with everybody quickly while we're here. All right, so a fun house here. They've got wait till you guys see this deck in the back. So here's the house, and from the street, it's a nice little one-story house. You got the family thing going on, good work. But this is Mike Boyd. This is I Know a Guy, Fence and Deck. Mike, tell everybody a little bit about this house and what you got going on here.
Yeah, so we met the Woomers late last year. They had us come out. We did a quote sometime in October. They ended up wanting to go with like a wood deck. It's going to be, you're going to be surprised when you get back here how big this thing is. But they wanted to go with a wood deck, and last second they just decided to go ahead and pull the trigger and switch over to composite for longevity and maintenance freeness and all that good stuff. So yeah, we finally were able to get out here with the material, everything coming in and getting all that squared away. And they have a bunch of concrete work that got done. So we worked with the concrete company they hired to get all the piers done and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's coming along pretty good right now.
All right, let's check it out. Show us what we got here.
You got it. So we'll walk.
You got all my guys working hard here.
So we're out in Troy, Missouri,
Yep.
and you service all of St. Louis.
Yeah, so we service, we have a pretty good service area. We service Jefferson County, Franklin County, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, and then, odds and ends outside of that as well.
Okay.
These guys, we've been back on the job we've had a total of 3 days working on the job now, as far as actually starting the day. So we dug our piers one day, concrete guys did all their stuff, and they've been out here framing for 1 day so far. And then we just got out here, started on the next day. We had a little snafu with the vendor not being able to deliver some stuff, so I got good guys. They went and picked it all up themselves because they wanted to keep working. So here's where we're at right now. We got like an 18-foot long deck over this nice concrete patio, and they're just looking to have just a nice area to host people and host people up there. They want to host people down here. We'll have a landing here with stairs coming down and stairs coming down to the end. So we're real excited about the progress of it so far. Like I said, we're about a day of actual construction in, with probably 2 more left to do. After today, they'll be done with the complete framework and a good portion of the decking, and then we plan on finishing everything up tomorrow. So we should have a pretty good little area here for them to be working on before the weekend.
So let me understand. You said the deck will be done by tomorrow?
Most likely, yeah. If we have anything left,
entire deck.
We'll most likely just maybe have some cleanup stuff to do on Monday if we have to come back out. But yeah, these guys work hard and they work fast. So
when did you actually start? When did these posts get put down?
So we put these posts in yesterday. Or
Okay.
I'm sorry, Tuesday. Yesterday we didn't work with the rain. But Tuesday was the actual first day that they actually came out and started to do anything. There was nothing cut.
So
there
that was day
nothing
1.
anything.
This is technically day 2 because of the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And day 3,
Yep.
done.
Day 3.
How many
as far
square
as the
foot is
install.
this deck?
We're in the neighborhood of like 400 square foot.
Right, so you're on 18 out and probably almost 18 across.
It's something similar. It's like 16 wide. We got a landing, 2 sets of stairs, and another landing to go on top of that. So
Wow. So I'm gonna get a couple shots here, best I can with our equipment here.
Okay.
I do have a drone, but I think we're save that for.
yeah, I think you'll get the idea here. And then when you got stairs, you can walk up.
Right, and so literally, you think this thing could be done? Wow, that's amazing. If you got guys that are good at what they do, but look at the supports you got here. I mean, you're doing this right. I've built a couple decks in my life. If you're going to have, especially if you're going to do hot tub, I have a hot tub on my deck. We do double supports and all that. So tell us about the durability of this deck and why you think this is going to be
So
what they need.
what we do is we'll use the 2x12 cantilever system no matter where we're at and no matter what our span is. No matter what municipality, when you work in as many different municipalities as we do, it's around 30, something like that. And so we have to follow the rules of any, whoever is presiding over those rules, whether it's a certain city or the county itself. And so we don't need 2x12s, we need 2x10s, but there are municipalities that require 2x12s. So all we've decided to do is go by the strictest code of any municipality that we're going to work in, and then that's what we're going to do. So like we've still got like hurricane clips and stuff that we're going to put up on this with a double cantilever system, and these are all screwed in and nice and tight and all that stuff, where there's no way anything's going to come. When a tornado comes, that's going to help prevent any joists from coming up and anything along those lines. We'll still throw the hurricane clips on there regardless of if the municipality requires it or not, because we just want to make sure that everything's up to code no matter where we're at. So we go 12 inches on center. A lot of companies won't go 12 inches on center because it's not required when you're doing a composite deck. You only need 16 inches on center when it's...
So you're talking about the distance between the boards.
Yes,
the
yes. So
joists.
yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, these joists right here that actually will be underneath the decking itself. We're putting a composite decking up here. Code requires that it's 16 inches on center. But a lot of guys know that when you're using composite, the vendor wants you to use 12-inch centers for durability and to eliminate a lot of the flex and things along those lines. So we like to do that. It also helps with things like what you're saying. You want to put a heavier structure like a hot tub or something along those lines up there. You don't have to just add support later. Because of what we've done, you're able to go up there and just kind of put things up there right now and be able to do it from day one, regardless of if you ask for it or not.
Everybody, so check it out. This is a pretty substantial structure here. This is going to be a huge deck for a house. And now, if you take a look back here, I'm going to go out into the yard a little bit. I want you guys to see how big this looks. From the front, it looks like a nice little one-story, but from the back here, wow, check this out. This is like a resort now. And so here's what they have. I'm going to switch it around one more time for you guys. And take a look here. Now you're talking. This is this is an oasis. This is what somebody dreams of having from where you can see the living quarters and everything they got here.
And we're only part of the way through too, because what they plan on doing later is having us come back out and do more walk around or walkway to get out to. They plan on like putting a door in over there where that far right window is and things along those lines.
So extend the deck
so
along
they're
the whole back of the
extend
house.
everything. They love it so much now. They've already contacting us to have us come back out and kind of bid out what does that look like for us to go put an extension on it. So
everybody, so I know IKAG. I know a guy who does fences and decks, and you can tell he's been working hard because his shirt here is showing the wear and tear, and that's a good thing. So keep up the good work here, Mike. We appreciate you, and stay tuned for more here from the Your Little Castle Show. All right, everybody. So Mike Boyd here, owner of I Know a Fence and Deck, IKAGfence.com.
Yep.
IKAG, which is know a guy fence.com. So that's easy for people to remember. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, that just forward you onto his Facebook page because that's a great way to do business these days. Keeping your costs down, you're not spending a whole lot of money.
Sure.
You're getting the business because you've got great stuff to show off people and they can see it right there on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what is the path that led you to where you really got into this and you felt like this is the passion you wanted to follow for a career, a business that you're running?
Well, I could probably sit here for way too long and go over that, but I guess the long story short is I kind of got into this just looking for another job, moving on from the position that I'd held at another factory, and wanted to get into something else entirely. So I tried this out. I ended up running the operations of a company after a couple of years. In fact, the only things that I didn't do at that first company that I worked for that I had to do on day one here was, actually like send out the invoices and sign the paychecks. I even sent in the information for those things at the first job, telling them, hey, this is what we need to do, but I didn't actually sign anything. And so day one here, after working for a much larger company in between for like 5 months, I started doing it on my own, wanted to branch out and try this on my own. So I was fortunate enough to have a dear friend of mine, Tim, come with me. Basically, I hired him at the first company, and when I moved on, he was like, I'm not working for anybody else. So he came and moved on with me. And then when I said, I'm going to go ahead and start this thing in fall, he's like, well, I think you're crazy, but we're going to go ahead and try this together. So
I've got your logo up there.
Yeah.
I Know a Guy Fence and Deck. Phone number right there for everybody to see. 314-608-2083.
our office number. You'll get a hold of Mel or Savannah.
And they call in
and
direct
pass it along
to that phone number. That's great. And good work you're doing there. I would say this is the quality stuff that people, this is what you need when you're going to improve the value of a house. This is one of the best assets you can include that you add to a house. Would you agree with that? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, as far as just, adding value, a lot of, with a house, I mean, what is it? It's aesthetics,
Sure.
I mean, and what's prettier than a nice backyard that, you can see the boundaries of everything, or if you have kids like I do, a nice privacy fence, and you can just let them out into the yard and, to go play and do everything and not have to worry about it, regardless of, what neighborhood you're in or anything like that. And then, if you got dogs, I mean, how nice is it? My dog likes to go out and, hang out all winter long, and she don't like to come inside. So I like to let her because I don't like to be out there all winter long. So things like that. I mean, what could be better than be able to, encompass your property, your little castle.
This video will be part of our whole montage we've got here. So I'm going to click the play button. And there you are. There's Mike talking to his...
The Woomers, yeah.
The Woomers, and that's Kevin and Kim. That's right.
But don't call her Kim. It's Kimberly. Because her mom would get upset.
That's right. And
it's Mrs. Woomer to me. That's why I'm having such a hard time with this. It's Mr. and Mrs. Woomer. So...
And they did such an incredible job just with regard to being on camera and giving you a nice little bit of feedback, because when you have that kind of feedback, that's a great way to realize, here are some people that really dig what you're doing. And so there's that full video live. And like I said, this whole interview we're doing, we're going to piece together some of the stuff. You'll see some more of this as we go. But really happy family that enjoyed what you're doing. And Kimberly, now, because you can tell she's in a chair and she talks about that, she gets to enjoy that deck. I was joking we could play basketball.
Oh yeah, the size of that thing, they did a good job. They definitely upgraded as far as all that was concerned. So, she can go out and enjoy the deck, and her testimony was so cool, which I didn't even know when we moved in or started working on this thing originally, and then we got to know her as the project went on, and that was a really cool aspect of the whole thing, is just realizing how much it meant to them to be able to have this done.
Well, they did you did a great job, and I'm sure that, I know obviously they're very happy about the work that you did there. So we just want to keep sharing this kind of stuff with people, because how often do you end up where you have a family that you put this project together for them?
This story is kind of unique because of some cool, I call it superpowers. When I found out we have a beautiful deck, we're doing a great thing for a wonderful family, and then the other added benefits because of the cool things it allows you and your husband to now enjoy even more about life. And you're not one of those that says, woe is me. You're going, hey man, I made it happen and I'm super happy. And that is so encouraging to everyone else, because now other people say, oh, she looks like she's enjoying life.
I do. I always tell people I'm in a chair. It's not a death sentence, and I can do practically everything that I could do before, just a little different now.
Yeah.
And I go grocery shopping by myself. I drive. I do all the housework, and and you can be a victim, or you can be,
That's exactly what I talk to people about.
just
You can be a victim or you can be a champion.
a champion. Yeah.
And which one do you want to be? One's a lot more fun than the other.
And I don't feel sorry for myself. I'm glad God made me who I am, and I'm happy.
Tell us, Mike. This is Mike Boyd. I know a guy, fence and deck. Been doing this for a long time. Is this the kind of reward you get from doing the work you do sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, whenever we go to do something like this, I've been saying for a long time, because we've been around for 2 years now, officially as a company. Been doing it for a decade myself, and we want to put out a quality product for people that they can enjoy, that's safe, structurally sound, at the most affordable price that we can. And it's stories like this that just kind of like make it all worth it all the time, because I mean, we could try to charge more, or we could try to, do whatever we're going to do or whatever, but I mean, like, we could do things quick, but like the quality is what we look for, because we want to make sure that when you guys get out here, you can enjoy it. It's something that's safe for years and years and years and years to come, and I mean, that's what really matters to us.
That's important.
Yep. I'm so happy to hear that the crew come out here and they did a great job for you guys, and
Not a doubt.
Love the crew.
Absolutely.
Love the crew.
Can't say enough about those guys. I mean, everybody I have for me kind of works at that quality, and we really strive for that. The communication, customer service, and the craftsmanship are the three most important things. So I'm glad to hear that they did such a great job for you guys, and I'll pretend like it was all because of my training. No, they did a great job, and I love to hear that you guys are so happy with it.
We're very happy with it. From day one up until the completion, it was awesome.
All right, let's jump into some more of the depth of what I want to cover about your business. And when you really get into it, there are a whole lot of things to consider when you figure out who you're going to have do the work that you want done on your house. What is one major objection you've seen that people have when they say, "Oh, I'm worried about this," or "I'm worried about that. I got burned the last time when this happened."
I can't even tell you how many stories you hear about something like that. I was burned by this other construction company or something along those lines, and they're not wrong. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are willing to take advantage of people, and there's nothing worse than taking advantage of somebody. I mean, especially when they're giving you a portion of their livelihood. So to go out, that's one of the biggest objections you have. I mean, I'd rather go out and, shake somebody's hand and tell them, yeah, I'm going to do it for this price, and them give me the money that I said that I needed, and me give them the product that they asked for. But unfortunately you can't do that in today's society as much. So we do have the contracts and everything like that, so that's one of the big objections is people just being worried because they've been burned by other people. So we have to just kind of overcome that by letting them know, hey, we're a fairly young company, but get on our Facebook. You can see, and I've had customers literally say, hey, let them have my phone number. I'll talk to somebody for you and stuff like that. So I've got a list of customers that I can literally just pull up right now and give you a phone number too for a testimonial.
And watch this whole interview, everybody, as we put it together. Depending on how we edit this thing together, you can see pieces of it here, and likely we'll have the whole thing out there. Sometimes we do an extended version on YouTube because they're not limited by time constraints that you have when our show airs on. It's 28 minutes, 30 seconds. That's the time. That's how much time we got. But you'll want to have all of that information available to people so they can see, here's what this is really about. Here's how I know a guy, fence and deck, does business. And it was really neat to see how Kevin really gave you a shout out. He was like,
oh yeah,
we've dealt with some issues in the past, and I can tell you we were not happy, and those guys better never show their faces.
Right.
But on the opposite side, I said, well, and this was off camera discussion, tell me about excuse me, what Mike has done for you. And Mike, communication. That was the biggest thing he talked about. Your communication skills were great, because if you don't communicate, that's what I went to grad school, everybody. Communication. If you don't communicate properly, then there's so many other problems. It's just, if you tell people, be honest with them about, hey, this is what happened, and then people get in a situation and they go, oh, and then you catch yourself and you're like, no, just be honest up front and communicate. And that's what he gave you most kudos about, and the quality of the work that you did there too. Is that a key for you to help people understand?
Oh yeah, if you see the video, we kind of go over those. I started talking to him. Every single person that comes through the doors, as far as an employee is concerned, has to learn the 3 C's and has to learn what they're important for, and it's communication.
That's right. Share with everybody the 3 C's. I like that.
Yep. It's communication, customer service, and then craftsmanship. And a lot of people would think that craftsmanship's number one, and while it's incredibly important, and hopefully we put enough product out there for people to realize that we do highly value our craftsmanship, but a great installer or a great employee is going to have communication, whether it's with me or whether it's with the people they work with or whether it's with the customer, whatever. Customer service, they're going to make sure that the people who are paying for us to do this are being highly valued. They're going to be taken care of and communicated to, obviously. And then craftsmanship. You have a lot of companies out there who are good at maybe the first 2, which is why they keep getting work and they're not putting out the best product. But the difference between them and a great company is going to be that they have a lot of people who do all 3. So those are the 3 that matter to us the most. And so that's why everybody has to learn it, and everybody has to follow those 3 things whenever they're installing for us or working for us, even if they're not in an installing role.
Well, we got some great footage of the guys doing the work for you too, and those guys work hard.
Oh gosh.
The weather wasn't always so friendly, but they were getting it done.
Yeah, they had about one nice day out there the whole time they were working. So
another thing I got to mention, the fact is that these guys, I went out there on was it a Thursday after you'd been there like 2 days and been raining?
Yeah, I think you came. Yeah, you came out on a Thursday. We had started on Tuesday. Right. You came out on Thursday, and it was basically our second day of working out there. They got to work that Friday, so that would have been the third day they were out there. And then they finished on Monday, and then you came out Wednesday, and we looked at it again and talked to the boomers. So we had about 4 days on that deck.
4 days to build a deck, everybody. And if you're really good at what you do, you can pull those kinds of things off. That's amazing. And top quality. We're going to share with you guys some of the pictures here of that specific deck. We'll put those into the video as we continue here. But so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back on the Your Little Castle Show. We're here with Mike Boyd, owner of I Know a Guy Fence and Deck. So if you saw this deck 4 days ago.
Yeah, a couple business days ago. Yeah, like 4 or 5
and that
days.
includes a weekend involved.
Yep.
You went from, there was literally some posts up and a couple things we had the supports, and you put that up the day before.
Yeah,
so again, we're here 3 working days, I think it took to get this thing.
2.5, 3 working days.
2.5 to 3 working days to get this deck from start to finish, and it was even with 2 rain days, last Tuesday to today, Wednesday, 8 days total, but 5 of those were weekend and rain.
Yeah, and they've been done since Monday now.
And they were actually done on Monday. Okay, so very quick. These guys know what they're doing. So real happy customer over there. Kevin, we might invite him to come back on a video over there. He's the owner of the house here in this incredible resort. So with that, Mike, show us around and show us the work you've done here.
Yeah, staying in it. It's not necessarily everyone's favorite thing, but it should be, because you want everything you build to be structurally sound, not just pretty. So I felt like the guys did a great job here. They go above and beyond. Not everywhere requires the exact same rules. I talked about this in the last portion, but they got the hurricane clips on everything. They got screws going through that as well. So, you don't necessarily even always have to have the hurricane clips or anything, but they just want to make sure that everything's done right and as beefy as possible, because this thing, these people are going to be up there hot tub partying it and stuff like that, so we need it to be nice and sturdy. So anyway, they got the double cantilevers, you know, all the structure up here. They got lateral load devices up on the house and things along those lines everywhere. We always go over what we need to as far as the municipalities ask for, because we want to make sure this thing is going to last you as long as you are going to last yourself. So anyway, this is always my favorite part, because it's, you know it's done right, you know it's structurally sound, you know nothing's ever going to move no matter what's on top. So
Kevin pointed out you have 4 supports here underneath these steps.
Yep.
Not just 3.
We always, they, you know, the rules change a lot and stuff like that. Sometimes you can get away with 3. I mean, I don't want bouncing your stairs, so we're not going to do anything like that, you know.
Yeah, that's not a bonus. They have a bounce, right?
Right, exactly. So anyway, we come up here. You got landing stairs, landing at the top here. I'm hoping we get them here later to do this walk around portion they're talking about, but we'll see what happens. I hope they
All right, yeah.
hopefully trust us enough to come back out. So anyway, at the top they went with a clamshell with Trex. I feel like it really pops really well against the vinyl rail system with the aluminum balusters. It's one of our standard looks when it comes to the vinyl. I feel like it gives it a good pop, and I was telling them I like the darker composite myself, just aesthetically. I'll be doing a deck at my house pretty soon. It's going to look very similar to the way that they did theirs. So we were really happy with the way everything turned out, and unfortunately so were the Wimmers. So
Okay, cool. We're going to walk it down in the backyard. I want to give a full shot as I can here of this whole deck. There's Kevin. He's happy customer for sure. Very happy. Cool. And see this. So let's walk out back.
yeah.
Get one little quick last review of this beautiful piece of art. Some people call this a piece of art, right? This is a beautiful. And so you can see here's the house, on the back side of the house. And now look at this resort we have. There's Kimberly, she's motoring around, happy. But look at what we got here. All right, Kevin, give us the final review here with Mike. Tell us what you like. Tell me what you like, Mike.
Oh, what
I'll get Kevin stand over. Kevin, come on over. I said Kevin and Mike, but
No, what I you know, like I said before, I mean, if people go with Trex, and you know, we do wood and composite, and then you know, when you do composite, you got a lot of different options as far as colors and stuff. But I love the color scheme they picked with everything, and so we go, you know, foot on center with everything. We got the big beefy cantilever system that's going to hold it up forever, and yeah, just overall, we really just enjoyed this particular style of deck, and I'm glad that they're so happy with it. And actually, they changed from like a wood option originally to composite. So when they upgraded on the material there, I was pretty excited, because it's a pretty good sized deck, and we knew that it was going to be a big selling point, quite frankly, because you know, you guys are so easy to deal with. We're able to come out here and do everything, and so we really appreciate that, and then the opportunity to come out here and, you know, market our, you know, talents and showcase that kind of stuff. So we appreciate it.
Well worth it.
Kevin?
I'll tell you, just to wrap it up, like he was saying, just the workmanship, the quality, how I was told that if a trampoline, which is why we got a new deck put up, if another trampoline comes and hits it, the house will come down before this deck does. So that says it all right there. Very quality, very happy with the job.
Thank you.
Beautiful. All right, so here we are finishing up. I know a guy, fence and deck. There he is, Mike Boyd, and awesome work. His happy customer Kevin and Kimberly, and we just are excited to share some of the excitement and just the good quality workmanship that you can get from the small businesses here that help make your castle from your little home. Everybody wants their little castle, so these guys will make your home into that castle. All right, everybody, stay tuned. Good.
Thank you.
All right, giddy up, everybody. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the other things I think they're important. The business owners are aware of and that understand it. This is a format where you get to spend a little time. This isn't a 30-second commercial. This isn't a minute and a half commercial. This is a 30-minute show, and where you get to kind of go over it all. Right here, everybody. I know a guy, fence and deck, big in the community, lots of support from the customers. I've already met one important one that you had that really had an impact, because, again, Kimberly, she now has access to a much more enjoying place in her house to get out there,
yeah.
and get outside and roll around and really get to enjoy this beautiful world.
I think they're the epitome of the your little castle, because they are really taking that thing, and that is like it's not just our renovations that we've done, but it's across the board for them. So she really gets to enjoy that now, and we're really, really happy for her.
Well, really cool what you've done there. What would you say the one thing you do personally for fun in St. Louis? We talked a little bit about this before the show.
Yeah.
And you're a bit of a Cardinals fan.
Oh yeah. How can you grow up here and not be?
How can you be? How can you live in St. Louis and not be a Cardinals fan? Everybody, this is something I would definitely advocate. If you're going to live or work in St. Louis, it's a good idea to be a Cardinals fan because it's such a big part of our community, and they do so much to contribute to our community. I really think giving us something fun to do and stay focused on the positive side of the world and doing the fun things that make a difference. So let's talk a little about your favorite moment in sports. You had something you mentioned to me. And that was kind of neat. And I thought, well, I'd like you to talk about that one. We all remember that one.
Oh yeah, I had a little guy, named David Freese.
Little guy named David Freese, right?
Who come out here in Game 6 and save the world. I mean, how can you not think that is one of the greatest moments in sports history? I mean, obviously I'm a little biased because of who I was rooting for, but I mean, how is that not one of the greatest moments in sports history? The hometown hero getting to come up and not only keep us alive at the end of a game, but then end up winning it in extra innings. I mean, that is the greatest St. Louis moment outside of maybe, Kurt Warner's story and things along those lines. But a single moment, David Freese. I mean, hands down.
Yeah, if there's one moment in sports in St. Louis, we had the 82 World Series. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But when you have that walk-off home run in Game 6, there's nothing
unbelievable
more exciting than that, especially after he hit a triple. I'll do my reenactment of my video. A lot of people, my video's been watched like 35, 40,000 times. If you recall, Mr. Freeze hit a triple off the fence. So maybe do it again or hit it over the fence and call it a night. And I didn't realize it until somebody came up to me later and said, "Do you realize you called that shot?" I'm like, ooh, that makes me feel like if you call a shot, you're jinxing your team. You can cause problems by doing that. So, but it's interesting to hear you talk about the one moment that you recall was the most exciting, and I think that's been a big part of St. Louis's culture, and will be on forever.
Absolutely. I was raised here. I went my entire, from kindergarten through senior year. I went to Festus and went to Jeffco for a couple years after that and stuff. So I mean, I've been here my entire life, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great seasons and moments and things like that in Cardinals history, and in the when the St. Louis Rams were here, and even the Blues just a couple years ago getting the Stanley Cup for the first time. It was amazing. But yeah, that was definitely the greatest moment in St. Louis sports history, in my opinion. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you guys enjoy the show here a little bit. We're gonna catch up with you more. Thanks for tuning in here for another exciting rendition of the Your Little Castle Show. Thank you.
Much more for you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I know a guy, fence and deck. Giddy up.